Hello everyone, this is a Steven Universe theory video on how strong is Stevonnie, and I've been meaning to do this video for a while now. I think this was probably the second or third how strong is that I planned, but I knew that we were getting more Stevonnie in the future, and I wanted to wait until then, specifically Mindful Education, to see what else she could do. And this was a great time to do it because, you know, people are looking up more Stevonnie stuff and whatever, so let's just get right into it. Pretty much like what I did with the Opal one and the Smoky Quartz one. Gonna go over the different abilities that Steven and Connie have, and then mix them together on how Stevonnie uses them. So first off, with Steven, pretty much right off the bat, you all know Stevonnie has the ability to use Steven's shield, no doubt about it, and can most likely increase the size of the shield to protect, like, if the gems are behind her or whatever, or just a group of people, anything like that. You know what I mean. It's on screen to show you, like, an example of such, how Steven does so sometimes. I'm surprised they actually haven't showed Stevonnie using it yet, or at least I just haven't really remembered, but, yeah, I'm still shocked that Stevonnie hasn't used Steven's, protective bubble. Like, the very first move Steven's mastered, pretty much. They haven't, use that ability yet. It's really weird. I was kind of hoping they would eventually, but I know they will. And yeah, Stevonnie, she's able to use the bubble, no problem. I know she can. Can also increase the size of it for more space or whatever, and most likely can include the spike feature, the spiked bubble that comes with the bubble now. So and as again, like I said, it was a good thing that I waited for Mindful Education, because I was most likely just going to say, oh, well, Stevonnie most likely has the float powers. But no, it's confirmed that she does. But I noticed that there's probably a little twist to it. I know that every time, and by every time I mean twice now, that she uses that that ability, she seems to struggle a bit. I know Steven does so the same, but not as much as Stevonnie. And I think the reason why is because one half of Stevonnie, the Steven part, he's used to flying or using that flow power. Connie isn't so much. So, like, you know, one half is able to do it so much, or is just used to it, while the other half isn't. That's why you always see her, like, kicking her feet like a Yoshi or whatever. I know some people probably nicknamed it the flutter kick or something like that, or a flutter jump. So it's kind of like that. She has the power to float or to glide or anything like that, but it's probably just a little bit harder for her right now, but I guarantee later in the future she'll get used to it and be flying all over the place or whatever, or floating specifically. And, oh, and the last thing for Steven would be the healing spit. Pretty sure Stevonnie would be able to use the healing spit if necessary. When it comes to a fight, you know, it probably needs to, like, you know, heal herself or a cracked gem or just anything else specifically. And that's pretty much it when it comes to Steven's powers. Has the shield, can increase the shield, has the bubble, can increase the bubble, can add the spikes to the bubble, has the flutter jump or the flutter kick or the floating powers, and then the healing spit. So those four factors. Now for Connie's part, since there's not many, you know, powers or too many skills that Connie has, this one's going to be just a little bit short. But the big thing that comes to Stevonnie is the sword. Now, besides the breaking point and then just any other weapon we haven't seen in action or we just don't know of, Rose's sword is the strongest weapon that the crystal gems have at the moment. Not really counting like fusion weapons or anything. The sole one only gem type weapon, because that weapon from Bismuth was specifically made to not shatter a gem like the breaking point, but to poof them. It's purely made to just pretty much stop them. That was Rose's, like, style or fighting style. She doesn't kill or shatter, she just takes them down and poofs them. Simple as that. That was her style, and that was what the sword is made for. It can, you know, just with a couple of hits, just with a couple of hits, a gem would be able to be poofed with no problem so much. And Connie seems to be really adept of using that sword. She's been using it for a while now, and she's almost a master at it. And Stevonnie's pretty much the same way from what we've seen now. And, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the Connie part. One thing I could add to it, just for a little fun thing, if for just some specific scenario, if Stevonnie's not able to use the shield or the sword or just any power. We now know from Connie that she knows at least just a little bit of, like, just basic hand-to-hand combat or martial arts, because she flipped the kid, and that flip alone broke his arm. So I'm pretty sure Stevonnie would be able to defend herself if it comes to a situation like that. And then the last thing I guess I would add is Stevonnie could ride Lion, or, well, can ride Lion into battle, just like how, what she did against Jasper, or anything like that. She can ride Lion, all this other stuff, charge in, and, you know, take down gyms when necessary. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the powers and abilities of Stevonnie. Now for the important part of the video, or the main part, is how strong is she, where does she add up, who can she fight against. And I know most of you are just pretty much thinking, well, she easily fought Jasper and took her down, so she's easily as strong as a quartz or as strong as Jasper. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but in my opinion, I think the fight with Stevonnie and Jasper was just more of just in Stevonnie's favor. And what I mean by that is, I think because, like, the episode was just dragged out a bit and the fight was just a little bit shorter, they pretty much made it to where Stevonnie could win. I know that, like, the main characters can't always and only lose, but it just really seemed like Stevonnie won because, well, she was the good guy and the main character so much. So, but I can guarantee the fight with Jasper and Stevonnie was probably like an actual fight, like probably with Garnet and Jasper, or even, I don't know, Smoky Quartz and Jasper. I can probably guarantee that Stevonnie can hold her own against Jasper, and maybe, just maybe, probably be able to beat her. But I know it would probably take a while for her, especially even if she does have the sword, because now I think about it, she does have the sword that could stop Jasper, but Jasper's, you know, just a little too fast, and she knows how to fight, especially against, like, swords and all that stuff. She's pretty much like a war veteran in a way. So, yeah, that's how I see it, how strong Stevonnie is. So in conclusion, or overall, my opinion, Stevonnie, she's probably just as strong as Jasper. Well, I wouldn't say just as strong as Jasper, but she's able to keep up with her. And most likely, just a little bit, there's a slight possibility of her actually beating her. So, as I kind of did with the Opal one, Jasper is like a, I don't know, a 7.2 or 3, and then Stevonnie is like a 6.8 or 6.9. I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much it and all that other stuff. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Have any questions, comments, or concerns? I try to answer them the best I can. Want to draw any fan art for the channel would be greatly appreciated. But until then, bye.